the idea of, when I recommend that people set the stage appropriately, meaning you tell people the real reality of buying a home in this marketplace, I always refer to buying a home and the underwriting process as forensic underwriting. We are going to go into your financial life with a black light and tweezers. That's really what it is, and it's uncomfortable because we're going to learn more about you than most people. But the truth is that we do this up front because we need you to understand that in order to avoid all of these things that could go wrong, we have to have as much information up front as possible. Here's a list of 185 things that could go wrong. And most of the time I hear people's responses is, well, God, no, I don't want to scare them. Or, God, no, I don't want to tell them that information because then it's going to make me look bad. And I'm going to ask you guys to answer this question for me. Do you think that if you told your clients the absolute truth of what could go wrong, that your clients will appreciate you or they will be frustrated with you? Which one do you think is the reality?
I would definitely appreciate you.
Why?
Because you're you know, they're looking at that list up front and realizing they need to eliminate as many of the things on the list as possible.
Yep. What about you, Scott?
And you're just being honest.
Yep. Being upfront.
What about you, Scott?
Upfront and honest.
It elevates. Remember we talked about the 3 things that make us different, and one of the things that I get paid to do is consult, right? I don't get paid to sell, I get paid to consult. And so one of the greatest missteps that we make in creating that relationship with our clients is that we minimize our effort in the transaction. We don't tell our clients the truth of what happens behind the scenes. It's kind of like when you watch NFL football games or NHL hockey games or MLB baseball games. What you see on the field takes years and years of dedication and practice and constant evolution and constant change and constant improvement. There's a lot that goes into the art of watching a professional athlete play. Most of our clients have no idea what we do. They really don't. And we, as consultants, don't do a very good job of explaining to them what we do at a granular level. And so anytime that we can get a wow or a thank you or an appreciative statement from our clients, which is what I believe our number one priority is, we tend to not put out there what really has happened in order for us to get to that stage. So we don't, what I call, blow it up. We don't really magnify or amplify the realities of what goes on in a transaction. I know both of you guys have had amazing success stories within the last 30 to 60 days with files. Have you both not? Have either of you guys not had an amazing success story in the last 60 days?
I've had plenty. I've had several.
Okay, so loans that close on time, loans that close with a better interest rate, loans that close with a lower cost estimate, loans that close with everything goes smoothly and you have realtors and buyers and sellers who applaud you, right? We've all had those scenarios, correct?
Correct.
Do you think that your abilities, your professionalism, your skill set is amplified and magnified if the client knew the realities of what goes on and how when you showed up at closing, none of those realities came true? It makes you look pretty damn good, doesn't it?
Yep.
It's it's setting the bar of expectations. One of the other things that we do at a really high level is we manage people's fears and expectations. Part of being a consultant is not hiding from the truths. So if we manage their expectations out of the gates, when we do earn the right to get a thank you and we do earn a right to get appreciation, they go into it knowing exactly what you did. They realize what has been accomplished, because the truth is, just like you said about rates with Bank of America and Wells Fargo, the client doesn't know what they don't know. They don't know the difference between you and a loan officer at Bank of America. They don't have a clue that you're different. They believe that you are just the same kind of person as the person that works at Wells Fargo. That's why they're willing to give a better interest rate. But if you knew as a consumer that if you paid a little bit more, you were going to get a chance to go in a limousine for 2 hours on a car ride, or you could save $10 and go in a cab for 2 hours, I think most of the population, 80%, would choose the limo. $10 more. I believe it. I think you guys would pay that too. But the problem is that we don't really show our clients what a limousine's about. We don't really show them what our business model really looks like. We don't educate them on the truths of what could go wrong until it goes wrong. And at that point, we look like we have egg on our face because as a professional, we should have known this. The truth is we did, but we don't ever let our clients in on it because we don't want to scare them. I think that's the wrong approach, because in the event that you do tell them all this up front and nothing goes wrong, what do you look like?
Hero.
A superhero. If you give somebody a list of 85 to 100 things that go wrong and none of it goes wrong, and you told them that up front, that you could expect to see some of these things go on, and nothing happens, doesn't that give you the right to go, see how great of a job my team is doing? Now, let's go back to the other side of the equation. What happens in the event that something does go wrong? Does it make you look like a rock star, or does it make you look like an amateur if they had a list ahead of time and you were able to go, can you look at number 77? This was the issue that we're experiencing, which I warned you about in the beginning, and this is how we're going to handle it. Does it help you or hurt your relationship with your client?
Helps.
Damn right it helps. So why do we not address the concern? A, we're lazy. B, we're too busy. C, we don't have the data in front of us to be able to remember all this stuff. Well, years ago, I created a list, and this list is not all-encompassing, guys, when I send it to you. There's a lot of things that have changed, so I would love it if somebody were to add to it and resend me out the letter so that we can constantly evolve it. But the truth is it covers the seller, the listing agent, the buying agent, the title company, the home inspector, the appraiser, the surveyor, the lender. It encompasses everybody, which all play a role in closing your loan. I'm willing to bet you, Cheryl, if you sent this letter to the client saying, while you're interviewing your loan officer for your mortgage, please make sure you pay special attention to the experiences that they had handling 85 of the things that could go wrong in a transaction. If they haven't had the experience, if they're not able to identify some of the potential challenges that you could face, you might want to consider how much that rate savings is really going to be worth compared to the frustration and the stress and the possibility of you not getting the home in the time frame that you wanted is worth.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then let it go.
Yep.
What does that how does that show up to your how does that show up to Ruth? How do you think your conversation to the client is going to show up to Ruth if Peter goes back to her?
Right. Yep.
Did you were you upset? Well, you showed up as a consultant, right?
Yep.
You didn't show up as somebody who needed a sale. You showed up as somebody that was trying to help somebody get the best advice in the best direction. Now, they may not choose you. That's okay. But the truth is that information sometimes puts you in a position of somebody in authority and somebody that's a professional compared to what Peter doesn't realize is that they're going to be working with somebody that doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And they could be the one person that ends up causing them the greatest stress through the process and not realizing it. And all you're doing is giving them the upfront. So I always, in my 5-point opener, always talked about you're going to hate me conversation. And that was always a fun time for me because I always loved telling people that they were going to hate me. And they were always like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, this is the truth. This is what's going to happen. You're going to want to punch me in the face when I call you for the 15th time asking for an updated pay stub. And I go, here's why. Here's what we go through, and here's the truth, and I'm not going to hide behind it. And I'm okay if that scares you a little bit, because if we agree to work together and I'm able to avoid most, if not all of these things, you're going to love me. And I know that I'm going to get you to love me because I'm telling you the reality. And no matter what happens, good or bad, you're going into it with eyes wide open, and you know that I got your back because I warned you it was coming.
Yeah.
Why do you think pilots get on the intercom before a flight takes off? Hello, this is Captain Doug Catterick. Your flight will be flying from here to Atlanta, Georgia. We'll be in the air at 55,000, feet in the air. We'll be traveling at a speed of 480 miles an hour, and we expect to hit some turbulence above Tennessee. We'll do our best to avoid it, but there's a chance it might be a rough patch. I'll keep this, fasten seatbelt seats on, blah, 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 just to give you guys a heads up. We let it go through our ear and out the other. It comes in and goes out, and we don't really pay attention because it's so normal, but that's exactly what the pilot's doing. It's managing your fears and expectations, because when you hit turbulence, the pilot telling you he's expecting it gives you knowledge that they're preparing for it. When you don't know it's coming and it comes at you, you're like, what the frick just happened? Thanks for the warning, a-hole. But that's the truth behind why setting the stage in the beginning is so vital. Setting the stage for the triangle of trust, setting the stage for the permission to reject, and setting the stage for you're going to hate me is so vital, because it's all about increasing your consultative skills so that your clients see you differently than the LOs at Bank of America and Wells Fargo and Chase and some of the other shops. Because I guarantee you, on my life, the conversations that I'm teaching you guys to have, no other loan officer in your market is having these. No loan officer. I will guarantee it. If you asked a loan officer in your marketplace, you interviewed 5 at a chamber event, ask them, do they have a 5 bullet point opener when they meet with a client, and ask them what it is, you'd be amazed at how laughable it is. Because they don't have one. Then you have to ask yourself, who's the professional? Who earns the right to get the business? It ain't them. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Sorry, I hate it when people shop us, because I feel like it's such a cop out, and they're just ignorant. I mean, not negatively. They don't know what they don't know, and we don't do a good enough job setting the stage properly for them.
Right. But I will tell you this, our rate is so far apart, and I've asked her to send me their estimate, and she's not willing to do that. So
Yep.
Move on, like you said.
What's the loan size?
It is, let me see what I have in here, because we lowered it 2 ways. This is $420 on a $500,000 home.
Yep.
Our par rate 4.75, and they're getting 4.125 at Bank of America.
Okay, so let me tell you something about that so you understand. And this is the 100% honest to God truth from the Mortgage Bankers Association. Bank of America type. For every loan that is north of $400,000, when they lose that mortgage, they have to make up the lost revenue with 127 personal bank accounts. 127 personal bank accounts for every one $400,000 mortgage. So let me ask you something. If you're Bank of America and you have a choice to earn X amount on a loan, one loan, or have to generate 127 other personal accounts, what is your best business plan? Get the $400,000 mortgage, right?
Absolutely.
You will never, and I'm going to rephrase this, you will never, ever, ever be able to compete with a big bank, because the big banks will never, ever allow a loan of that size to get away from them. It is economically suicidal for them to let that loan go to you. When you hear Bank of America and you hear Wells Fargo and you see their interest rates, your best approach is to honor the referral source by telling them the truth. I would love to earn your business, but what I'm competing against just isn't realistic. But here's where the differences lie. What you're going after is Bank of America hiring somebody at an hourly wage to oversee 100 things that could go wrong so that they don't have to open up 127 personal bank accounts. And economically, that makes sense to them. You have to decide if what Bank of America is offering, and when the rate's that far apart, you got to just pat them on the head and go, listen, I care about the referral source, hence the triangle of trust more than anything. I'm willing to help you and be there for you on a limited basis. And here's why, but you have to promise me a favor. You have to promise me that you're going to go back to that referral source and say, thank you, because I'm telling you the truth and I'm going to guide you a little bit. But more importantly, if somebody else in your life could use some great mortgage advice, promise me that you'll put me in touch with them. I know that they might go to Bank of America, but I don't care about that. I care about helping somebody out today.
Mm-hmm.
And understand that the larger loan amounts like that at those banks, forget it. It's just not going to ever be a reality when they, meaning the bigger banks, know what the worth is for every one of those loans. So in all fairness, Bank of America is literally giving that loan away for free because they know after it closes, they'll have access to their personal accounts, they'll have access to their investments, they'll have access to their fees. I mean, the list goes on. You just gotta respect the business that we're in and understand that there are certain battles. It's like taking a knife to a gunfight. It's not going to be, you're going to lose every time.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't understand what's at risk because we don't tell them what could go wrong. You guys got me on that?
Yep.
Yes.
We've all had those situations, guys. I've had to let go of files, but I've realized if I'm going to let it go, I have to honor my triangle of trust mindset. I have to honor the referral source. Ruth is the best person out there because she's going to refer me somebody else, especially if I do right by Peter and tell them the truth about what could happen and just offer up my guidance, my years of experience. I mean, that never hurts, and karma, I believe it to the day I die. Karma plays a big role in this world. When you help other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And it may come from the most obscure places, but you can't look at it and go, it sucks that I didn't get the deal, so I'm not going to help them. No, I think the other approach is, sucks that I don't get the deal, but it can at least help them make a better choice by educating them. And in the off chance that Bank of America follows it up so bad that they want to come back, at least they'll come back to me because they know they can trust me. But I care about Ruth more than anything.
Right.
And then move on. Because you've got enough clients that love you, Cheryl. You've got enough clients that aren't rate conscious and realize Bank of America and Wells Fargo and Chase suck. Move on. And this is not just random facts that I pull out. Owen Lee goes to these big events in Washington, D.C. and all over the country. He comes back and he's like, here's the truth of it, guys. There was a Bank of America stood up in front of everybody and said, you will never get a $400,000 loan from us if we have a chance to talk to the borrower because economically it would be suicidal for us to let it go out the door.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow, but you have to realize too that the person that's taking over the mortgage, they know 1/10 of the mortgage business that you do. There's 9 other people that have to handle that file too. So you know what they're going to end up getting. You know what the experience is going to be like, and maybe it's great, maybe it's not, but you know that at the end of the day, you did what was right for you and Ruth, and that truly is all that matters. Anybody got anything for me?
I don't think so.
Cheryl?
Nope, I have my my party planned for my referral partners. I hired a musician, and we're gonna have a party out in the backyard near my pool. And if it's raining, we have a screen and pitch for the musician. But young man we saw at a barbecue place about a year ago, and I kept his card, and I called him and I booked it, and I've got the invitation ready to send out. And so I'm excited about that because when I went to the Michael J. Mayer event, he said you really should plan something once a quarter. So for 2 months in a row you invite, the 3rd month you have the event, the 4th month you follow up, and then you start the process all over again. So
Love it.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, as you should be. I think that's an awesome idea. You're gonna have to let us know how it goes and post a lot of pictures to Facebook.
Definitely, most definitely.
That's great. That's awesome. I used to do that. I took when I owned my own company, we rented out a comedy club for an entire night. We took a bunch of our clients, a couple hundred of our clients. We rented out a section of the Detroit Tigers in July and took a bunch of our clients. We used to do pumpkin sales. We used to do Christmas tree sales. What else did we used to do? I think those were the biggest ones that we did that were client appreciation events. And you know what? It speaks to how much you care about your clients. And the best part is that when they tell their friends what they're doing, yeah, I'm going to the Tigers game with my lender. He invited me and my whole family. That conversation comes up, and this was before Facebook was a big deal. So imagine now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, imagine now what it looks like. And so what I would do in that event, if it's decent enough, is I would actually have everybody post pictures to their Facebook, and the one picture that gets the most likes wins a gift card of X amount of money.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Whoever posts themselves at the barbecue with the S&P logo or whatever you want to do, or with you, gets the most likes on that afternoon, wins whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. But the idea is getting them to post to social media while they're there and see how many likes they can get.
Exactly.
Good idea.
Right? I kind of have a few.
Yeah, you think? Hey, don't forget to send me that list.
I'm literally getting ready to type up the email here in about 20 seconds. As soon as we get done recording this call, I'll send you guys the replay so that everyone else can get it, and I'm also going to send you guys that list.
Super. Well, Zach, I do have one other thing to say. Is I've really, really worked hard in putting the systems in place and working those systems this year, first quarter. But I just feel like my business isn't where I want it to be. I'm going to have a great month this month, but part of that's because 2 closings got moved from last month to this month. But it's just, I thought I would be a lot further ahead, but I guess I just need to keep planting the seeds and watering them. Plant the seeds and water them, right?
Well, let me ask you, what do you think what's the one thing that you do, Cheryl, that probably produces you the greatest result? What's the one thing that you can say is the reason why you've got 9 referrals this month? Can you track it back to one specific thing?
Well, I really have been working hard on taking realtors out for coffee and getting to know them, and then following up with them.
How many times a month in the month of April did you do that?
Let me look at my calendar.
If you had to guess.
Yep. Honestly, I don't know. My head is pretty foggy this morning. But I've got my calendar pulled up. Hang on.
No problem.
Check it out here. So I had 3 in one day cancel, and then the next day 1 cancel. But probably about maybe 7 or 8.
So
I worked
in a month's time, you had 7 or 8 coffee appointments, lunch appointments.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. So
okay. That's fair. Under 10. Let's just say under 10.
Yeah. So what I did is the last 2 weeks of March, I was in and out of town, so I had my Freedom Caller stop setting up appointments. So then the week I got back, she was busy. So then, we got her set up to start doing calls the week after that. So let's see. I'm just looking here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, about 7 or 8.
Okay.
And that was basically for about 3 weeks because the first week we didn't do anything.
Okay. All right. So you don't, and when you look at your business, that is the one thing that you believe drives in your greatest amounts of referrals. Yes. And you did that over a 30-day period. You did that about 37%. 37% of your month was spent, not even 30%, it's less than that, it's like 27%, 20%, 27% of your month was spent doing originating type activities, which is what you say is your sweet spot, and you only did that 27% of your time.
Well, like I said, that
Imagine
was
if
in
you,
recent months. If
no,
we
no,
went back
I
to
understand,
February,
right?
I probably had 30 appointments for the whole month.
Okay, so then in February, look at what happened in March and April. Did you have good months in March and April?
Let me look here. You probably have it pulled up, and I don't. Lead tracker
No,
right
that's
here.
okay.
Yeah. So let's see. March. Well, definitely I had quite a few referrals. Let's see. So February, March, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little houses there.
Mm-hmm.
One, like some of them are new construction, so they're not closing till August or September.
Sure,
Those
sure.
are a few of them. One is closing
closable
tomorrow.
deals.
One I closed last week. Let's see, April.
Right.
So April, I only have 2 little houses there.
Here's the message that I guess I want to just drive home. If that's where your sweet spot is and you know that drives your business, you just have to make sure that anything that's preventing you from doing that is out of the way.
Okay.
So priorities, that's it. You got to make an understanding with yourself that my priority is that if I'm not doing this at least X amount of times a week, then I know my business isn't going to go where I want it to be. If I'm spending less than 25% or 30% of my month doing the one thing that drives in the most business, then what do I have to do to double that? What is getting in the way that's preventing me from going out there and spending 60% of my time doing the coffee appointments? Because I guarantee you, if you doubled the time that you spent doing that, you would see the double in return on investment with more referrals coming in the door.
Well,
That's
here's
simple.
the thing. My premium caller called last week, a lot of agents I gave her, and we ran into the same thing. She ran into the same thing over and over and over again. Is, you know, end of the school here, graduations, people getting ready to go on vacation. So
that's why it makes it so important to do it. That's why it makes it so important to do it every other month of the year. That's why it's got to be consistent, because you are going to have those lulls. But it also goes back to, that's why you need to make sure you're doing your client events, and that's why you need to make sure you're setting the stage with each client. And everyone that's on this list, Demers, Wright, Worthy, Shaha, Nguyen, Corbett, Morris, Poole, Leon, Suganar, Patton, Watson, all these from last month, does every one of these people who agreed to do business with you or wants to do business with you, do all of them know that you are counting on them? Not you've had a general conversation about it. They know without question that you are counting on them to refer them to somebody that they care about, meaning Craig Bland or your Freedom Caller could pick up the phone and go, we're just calling to touch base and see how things are going. Has Cheryl told you how her business grows? Would they be able to respond with, yes, if she's counting on us to refer her somebody that we care about? If you can't answer that, then when your realtor meetings slow down, you will have no other influx of business because you're not using the time to set the stage with your clients effectively enough to get them to be your walking billboards.
You are exactly right. I am not doing that, and I need to do that. So
it literally is. It's if I came to you, Cheryl, and said, all right, we're going to spend $1, and every time we spend $1, I'm going to show you how you can make $1.50 on every dollar you spent. And you said, you know what, Doug, that sounds good, and then don't do it. What you're doing is you're spending $1 and you're getting 75 cents back, because you're spending the $1 anyway, but you're not putting enough of the investment into it up front to get the highest return possible, and you're losing out on, I believe, 30 to 40% of your business by not setting the stage effectively. That's why it's so powerful, because, and we've talked about this in other conversations, there are pillars to our business, right? There are 4 legs to a table that I look at business and go, I need to make sure that I have a business strategy for 4 different parts of my business: my realtors, my affiliated relationships, my past and current clients, and my social circle. That's it. I need to make sure that I have a strategy for each of those, because at any given point in time, if the strategy is correct, I could be getting business in a variety of different areas, and it doesn't all revolve around just realtors. Just
Okay.
pay special mind to that. That's why your referral, your client party is so meaningful, because it gives you a chance to reconnect, but you need to make sure that they're expanding your brand. And I like the Facebook media posts and getting the likes, but you need to use that as a catalyst to convey what you're really hoping they understand, which is, I love my past clients. If I could hit the universal reset button, I'd only want to do business with just people like you. And I'm counting on you because my business and you mean so much to me that I need you. Not want, I need you.
Mm-hmm.
Promise me that you're going to go out and refer me to somebody you care about. And it isn't even about a mortgage. I just want to help somebody get the right advice, the right direction, and then the off chance that I get a loan out of it, great. And you'll be amazed at how often you get a loan out of it. But if you don't look at your lead tracker every month and go, yes, 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 and they all, without a doubt, are completely clear that you need and are expecting them to refer you to somebody they care about, then you're missing the boat, because you, my friend, have given them that commitment about what you're going to do for them. You've told them in so many words, I will commit to you that I will deliver a closable deal at the rate we discussed, at the fees that we discussed, and in the time frame we discussed. I'm making that commitment to you, and you can count on me. But we are not putting it back on them and saying, if I do this, I need your help. Because I can't deliver on this if I have to go out there and spend 60% of my day looking for new business. And I don't want to spend my day looking for new business. I want to take care of the friends. I want to take care of the people that I call friends.
Right.
You just have to treat me the same. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep. All sense.
Scott, you're really quiet. Are you playing video games?
No, I'm listening to Rise Against.
Oh, you are? There you go.
No, not yet. No, I've been like organizing files.
Well, listen, I'm going to send you a playlist of all the songs that I have of theirs.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
I'll make a copy of it. There's about 10 songs. They're all really good.
Awesome, buddy. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys, that's my 2 cents for the day. Cheryl, I need you to make me a promise. Well, first and foremost, we're going to move these calls to every 2 weeks. I'm getting way too many requests, and I can't do this every week for everybody. I'm just getting buried.
Okay.
Will you guys be okay with this call every 2 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. I need Cheryl and Scott, I need you guys to give me something that you're going to commit to doing in the next 2 weeks that we can hold each other accountable to in 2 weeks. Cheryl, what's it going to be?
It is going to be telling my clients that that I basically that I'm that I can't get the words out. But basically
Okay.
that I'm counting on them to tell their friends and family about me, and go from there.
Make me a commitment that every client that you sit down and talk to before you talk about mortgages, that you at least make a point of talking about some, if not all, of the 5 bullet points. The building the rapport, the permission to reject, the triangle of trust, the you're going to hate me conversation, and the agreement to work together. Make that a commitment that above all else, that this is the only thing that your message needs to be before you talk about loans. It'll change your business, I promise.
Okay.
Okay? So you'll be able to tell me that in 2 weeks. What about?
Yeah.
What's that?
Will you would you send those 5 things that you just said to me?
I will.
Please.
I will.
I'll
Scott, what
print
about
them
you,
out and
brother?
put them in front of me.
Okay. What about you, brother?
4 realtor lunches.
4 in 2 weeks? Really? Come on.
Yeah. 2 a week.
All right. I know you're semi-retired, so you can work at your own pace.
You want me to have more?
What's that?
You want me to have more than 4?
No, buddy. I'm just pulling on you. I'm just pulling on you. I love
You
it.
must have deep pockets taking all those realtors to lunch.
What's that?
He doesn't tell you that he takes a coupon with him, and he has a frequent punch card at the local burritos as big as your head, La Bamba.
That's right.
I said you must have deep pockets to take all the realtors to lunch. I take them for coffee.
Yeah, well, I may do that too.
There you go. There you go.
I'll take my
Okay,
boss.
guys.
He'll pay for lunch.
There you go. Love it. All right. I'll send you guys the replay as soon as I'm done converting it, along with the list as well as the 5 bullet points.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
I'll send you another
Appreciate you,
email with the list of songs.
Okay,
All
thanks.
right.
Okay, guys. All right.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.